Hey everybody, I'm just about to head out to a lunch meeting in Little India. The restaurant I'm going to is called Lahore Tikka House, and they serve Indian and Pakistani cuisine. The building itself, it stands as an absolute landmark in Toronto's Little India, and I'm going to be meeting with the owner there, Gulshan Ali Bahi, who was recently featured in a TED Talk. And she was speaking about her role in Toronto's Little India as a business owner. She was discussing the gentrification of Toronto, the importance of these ethnic enclaves, rising property taxes, and she was also discussing the pressures that some local business owners are feeling to sell their properties to developers who don't have an interest in preserving these ethnic enclaves.
Yeah.
So you actually were nominated recently to do a TED Talk and represent your community, represent Toronto on this topic. How was that experience? How did that go?
Wow, it was a journey. And when I first got asked to do the TED Talk, they wanted somebody who was like a social entrepreneur. But it was interesting because I started naturally saying, oh my, like how long am I going to be able to be in an ethnic enclave,
right.
With everything that's happening, with the property taxes going higher, with rents going higher, a lot of people, Little India wasn't what it used to be. And then I started to kind of see that this whole ethnic enclave actually provides jobs for people. It's an institution of belonging, and we really need to save them and protect them because they are the heart of community. So that was what my TED Talk was about. Well, the biggest challenge I'm facing right now is that our property taxes have risen threefold. I mean, it went from like $30,000 a year to almost $90,000 now. The land value has gone up, but this is really, really a challenge for small businesses like myself, a family business. My husband started this business 25 years ago with $5 in his pocket, and so it's not just about a restaurant, but it's the legacy of this restaurant. And so I think what's really grappling is I'm at a crossroads, right? These property taxes are almost running me out of business.
Right.
Do I sell to a developer or not? But saying that, we're an anchor in Little India, and if we kind of sell out to a developer, it's really going to change the whole landscape of Little India.
Yeah.
We've already started to see that happening in Chinatown, where Chinatown is just disappearing, Little Italy's disappearing, and Greek Town is a name only. And now we're starting to see the same kind of thing happening in Little India.
Yeah.
And it's not just about a restaurant, but again, the whole community, Little India, it provides social capital for many, many, many people, many newcomers in the South Asian community. It provides employment, and a lot of individuals who can't get employment because they don't have the Canadian experience come here first to get their Canadian experience. So it really helps the economy of Canada as well. And it's an institution of belonging, like ethnic enclaves where our restaurant is in, provides cultural exchange for people, cultural belonging for people. And if I leave and sell to a developer because my property taxes are too high,
right.
It's really unfortunate for the whole community and Toronto.
The property taxes are being assessed currently on the highest use of the property, right?
Yes.
So we're not talking about what your business is worth. We're not talking about what this building's worth. We're talking about assessing the value of your land and your taxes based on something that could be here one day, right?
Exactly.
So it's like, if I wanted to be devil's advocate here, I could say, well, it would be like paying income tax for what my potential income could be rather than what my income actually is.
Exactly,
right?
And it's totally unfair. One of the things that I really want to propose to individuals and be that voice is that we really need to look at these different ethnic enclaves like Little India, Greek Town, Little Italy, Chinatown, Little Portugal, Little Jamaica. We really need to look at them as heritage communities, just like we look at heritage buildings, and we really need to advocate, to the city, to MPAC that, we need to be taxed differently because once these different ethnic enclaves go, from Toronto, it's going to be a homogeneous landscape.
Okay.
Thank you so much for allowing me to have my voice, and it really helps, the community preserving and protecting. So thank you for this time. Yeah.
So my client Gulshan has now decided to restructure the way she's going to be using her building. She's going to open up the second floor and make it available for lease and try and offset some of the costs of her rapidly rising property taxes. But I think Gulshan has struck a chord here and raised some really important questions. How important are these ethnic enclaves like Little Italy, like Chinatown, like Little India, and like so many other these little communities that make up the fabric of Toronto? What's the real value of these ethnic hotspots? Are they part of Toronto's identity? Should they be protected like heritage buildings are protected? What would Toronto look and what would Toronto feel like in 20 years if gentrification made these areas unrecognizable? Let me know what you think. I would love to hear from you and find out more about how residents of Toronto feel about this and how tourists would feel about this. Also, if you or someone you know has a real estate or community story that needs a voice, let me know. I would love to meet with you and find out more about your story and see what I can do to help. Thank you.